while COVID-19 may have emerged as a global concern, South Africans have other things they are more worried about. They're more than this virus. Polling firm Ipsos has found that locals are more concerned with rising unemployment, violent crime and government corruption, among other things. Well, to tell us about their latest study on what worries the world is Director in South Africa, Marie Harris, joining us now from the City of Gold here in Johannesburg. Marie, good morning. Just first up, this survey, from what I understand, from what I've seen, is a global survey.
That's correct. It is a global study. It's done in 27 countries. Every month, we put out a few questions, not only about what worries the world, as we talk about this morning, but about other things as well that are going on in the broader scheme of things. So this particular study, What Worries the World, we've been doing for quite some time, but we only added COVID-19 as one of the possible worries of the world in April this year. So
in April, you mean April last year? April last year. Okay.
2020.
No. We don't want to stay in 2020. We're moving on to 2021. That was in April 2020. Okay. Now you say you run it. You run this monthly, and it's 27 countries across the globe. South Africa is one of them. And from what I've seen, there is a big chunk of people globally who of all the respondents, who COVID-19 was still their primary worry in December.
That is correct. All over in the world, the result was that 47% of the 27 countries, of the people in the 27 countries rather, chose COVID-19 as one of their major issues. You get 3 votes, basically, and you need to choose. But in South Africa, we chose a few other things. We chose unemployment, financial, political corruption, crime and violence, poverty and social inequality. And then in the 5th place, we said coronavirus in December. The thing is, all these other problems, especially unemployment, has been an issue since, well, we started asking people in South Africa in about 1990, what do you think are the biggest issues facing this country? And unemployment was mentioned then as well. So these 4 issues really were problems before COVID-19. But there are 11 other countries who feel the same way as us. Not necessarily about the same issues, but they also feel that COVID-19 is not necessarily at the top of their list.
So I mean, there's nothing as surprising there when you are talking about unemployment, as you said, about corruption. I mean, those are some of the biggest challenges we face in this country: crime and violence, poverty and social inequality. What I want to understand, did you prompt the respondents on some of the issues, or were these voluntarily given to you from a long list of issues that Ipsos had put out there?
It was a list of 18 issues, 18. So they... the question was, which 3 of the following topics do you find the most worrying in your country? And there were 18 issues. So we have COVID-19 at number 5, but then it's followed by a load of other things: education, healthcare, climate change, and, you know, a real host of other problems. What's interesting to me is that if we look at November or December last year, the big issues that we have, unemployment, corruption, and all those that you mentioned, all were a little bit less important than what they were the previous month. But then the importance of COVID grew by 2 percentage points, of education by 5 percentage points, of healthcare by 3, of inflation by 4. So we see there are other issues in the country as well that are mentioned by substantial proportions of the population.
What about levels of optimism and pessimism? Did you measure that?
Yeah, we do ask people basically, do they think their country is going in the right or the wrong way? And in South Africa currently, 80% are saying that the country is going the wrong way. and 20% saying that the country is going the right way. I think it's a very worrying statistic, I think.
Yeah, we are much more pessimistic, I guess, than the rest of the world, and faced with the economic decline and issues that are top of mind for us as unemployment, corruption, crime and violence. That's not surprising that that high level of pessimism exists.
No, it is not surprising because, as I said before, these issues of unemployment and those have been issues for years. And people are still worried about them, and there's very little done about it, and very little progress made on these issues. Even the issue of corruption, there's a lot of talk, but very little progress made. But we are not the most pessimistic country in the world. Of the countries that we included, Poland is more pessimistic than us, if it's anything to go by. 82% of them are saying the country is going in the wrong direction. And then I think, surprisingly, a place like France, 79%. So they are almost on the same level as us. France, and then Argentina and Chile. And I know that the countries in Latin America are also struggling very much with the same type of issues that we are struggling with. I was a little bit surprised at France, but yeah.
Yeah, no, the world is in a very difficult place. Thank you very much, Marie Harris, the South Africa Director of the international research company Ipsos, sharing with us the latest monthly findings of their survey, What Worries the World. Just in case you haven't heard, I mean, the top 5 biggest worries for South Africans in the month of December were unemployment, corruption, crime and violence, poverty and social inequality, and number 5 was COVID-19. So still in the top 5 there is the pandemic that worries us all.